Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So I am here because when I was doing the Q1 2020 data poll for the top 25 market cap coins, one of the things that I go over every single time is the exchange listings, because I think it's something really important to know of the top 25 market cap coins out there, currencies, tokens out there. How many exchanges are they being listed on? And I've been doing this for over a year now, I think over 2 years now actually, pulling the quarterly data. But something that stood out so vividly this time that I decided to look into is when I went on Coinmarketcap and I sorted out the number, like what exchanges each respective coin is listed on. Something that I had never done is filtered like highest volume, because one of the things it tracks in that same section on CoinMarketCap is the percentage volume on that exchange of a certain coin. Like for instance, what exchange is responsible for the most volume of any of these top 25 coins, right? So something that was fascinating to me is that so many exchanges that I had never even heard of are responsible for majority, so in some case, the vast majority of the trading volume of these top coins. So here's my case in point. Let's just start giving you some examples because it blew my effing mind. Okay, the biggest one, the one that didn't even make sense, is that supposedly there's an exchange called OKEX, which again, up till this point I hadn't even heard of. But mind you, there's like well over 150 exchanges that exist. And there's some like top name exchanges that most people use, that you hear about a lot in the industry. A lot of these, and a lot of the really high volume that's going on, aren't even happening supposedly on those exchanges, which makes me wonder, like, where are they getting these numbers in terms of reported volume and adjusted volume? I'm very curious as to how that data is being derived. But for example, OKEX is an exchange supposedly responsible for 150%, over 100%, which I didn't even know was mathematically possible, of IOTA's trading volume. IOTA is the top coin, and the fact that over 100%, like I highly doubt that over 100% of the trading that of IOTA that actually happens is happening on one exchange. That makes no effing sense to me. Again, where are they getting these numbers? I'm starting to think something's really weird and really fishy. So that's the most extreme example, but let's listen to a couple of the other ones, right? And mind you, again, these are all the top 25 market cap coins. It's not like I pulled some random shit coin and decided to see who's trading it or what exchange has the highest volume for trading it. Okay, next example is an exchange called Bit4X. Again, exchange I personally wasn't very familiar with, but Bit4X is responsible, single-handedly, supposedly responsible for 13% of Chainlink's trading volume, 18% of Bitcoin SV's trading volume, and 25% of Cosmos Atom's trading volume. So an exchange I had never even heard of is supposedly responsible for a quarter of the trading volume of Cosmos Atom. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And just to like drive the point home a little bit further, I'll run through a few of these others. And by all means, if you have any insights, please let me know. Because like I said, this is just a weird mystery that I feel like I've uncovered now that I finally decided to look at it. Bitmart is an exchange. Have you ever heard of Bitmart? I hadn't heard of Bitmart until right now, but apparently they're responsible for over 57% of the trading volume for USDC, US dollar coin. BKEX is an exchange responsible supposedly for 47%, almost half of Cardano's trading volume, Cardano's ADA, and 13% of Stellar Lumen's trading volume. That was kind of surprising. An exchange called Coinbene is responsible for 36% of Ethereum Classic's trading volume and 9% of Bitcoin Cash's trading volume. CoinTiger is supposedly responsible for 38% of our new hedge trades trading volume. This was a big one and kind of fishy. There's an exchange called Dragon EX, which one of my friends has told me is notorious for money laundering. I haven't done the research on it yet, but could make some sense. But anyway, supposedly Dragon EX is responsible for 88% of Unised Leo's, aka Bitfinex's financing coin. So yeah, 88% of Unisted Leo is on Dragon EX, like traded on Dragon EX, which is extra ironic because Unisted Leo is a coin specific to the Bitfinex trading exchange. So you would think that majority of the trading volume that happens in Leo would be happening on its parent exchange, which is Bitfinex. But no, instead it's happening on one called Dragon EX. That's freaking strange. And Dragon EX is also supposedly responsible for 20% of the trading volume of Huobi. There's another exchange out there with a fun name called Fat BTC that is responsible for 13% of Dash's trading volume. Another one called IDCM is responsible for 21% of Neo's trading volume. That's a lot. Another exchange called MXC is responsible for 34% of Tezos trading volume and 27% of Monero's trading volume. So almost a third of Monero trading is being supposedly conducted on an exchange called MXC. Again, not one I'd heard of, but definitely have heard of Monero. Kind of weird. MXC is also supposedly responsible for 9% of Bitcoin Cash's trading volume and 7% of EOS's trading volume. We already talked about OKEX with IOTA and 150%, which again, just mathematically doesn't even make sense. And last thing I will say, which was surprising but in a reverse way, is that the Binance exchange, which is very well known and you would think would be one of the names that would show up, like if there was going to be a couple of exchanges that were the parent of majority of this trading volume, you would think names like Binance would have been up there, but weren't. But Binance is supposedly responsible for 5%. That seems potentially more reasonable given the names involved. 5% of Bitcoin trading, like Bitcoin trading volume, and 4% of US dollar Tether trading volume, which I could see that being the case. The ironic thing is that Binance Exchange has its own native currency called Binance Coin, like its own native token. And there's a lot of incentives to using Binance Coin on the Binance Exchange as your medium of exchange currency instead of using Tether, instead of using Bitcoin, for instance. If you use Binance, there's a lot of perks associated with it, supposedly. And even though that's the case, that Binance has its own native currency, which is also in the top 25 market cap, Binance Coin, that currency itself, only 14% of its total trading volume supposedly occurs on its native exchange. So again, it's almost the opposite of this weird red flag I've been raising with the other ones. You would think that Binance, the exchange, would be responsible for far more than 14% of its native tokens trading volume. But anyways, that's the rant that I wanted to make about this. Again, if you have more info, there's no details on Coinmarketcap as to how they're getting this data. I've also heard in the headlines that supposedly Coinmarketcap is going to be buying Binance, or Binance is going to be buying Coinmarketcap, which to me is a massive conflict of interest, because if an investment house like JP Chase bought out Yahoo Finance and then got to control the numbers or have influence over the numbers that were getting put out as general market data on Yahoo Finance for everybody, like there's a big conflict of interest because JP Morgan can misrepresent numbers from themselves or their competitors to make themselves look better. And I'm just hoping that's not what's going to happen with Binance. Either way, it seems like there's a lot of shenanigans going on with reporting numbers. And yeah, I hope the data you're getting is clean. If you know of a better source than Coinmarketcap for this type of information, then please let me know, because again, starting to question a lot. So that being said, take care, happy trading and researching, and I will see you later.